today. Do your part today and dial star 447 star 333 hash to follow the prompts and pay. Star 447 star 333 hash to pay your TV license this morning. Now, Run Lottery, the time is now to play Run Lottery, the trusted lottery that gives you more chances to win big every single day. It's affordable, transparent, and rewarding. Run Lottery puts you first in every given opportunity. Now, here's the best part. With 3 daily draws, you never miss a chance. Start your morning with exciting morning draws. Keep your child alive at noon with the Star Midday Games and close the day in style with our Najo Star Draws. That's the opportunities we are giving to you every day from Monday to Sunday to turn your dreams into reality. So don't wait, whether it's building that new home, supporting your family, or chasing your personal goals. Run Lottery is the best lottery to stake. Join thousands of winners this morning across the country and make your dream a reality. So today being Monday, we are looking at the Monday Games, which is the Monday game, the Bingo 4, the Star Monday, and Najo Star. So these are the 3 opportunities for you. Monday games for today, the Bingo 4, Star Monday, and Monday and Najo Star. So these are the 3 opportunities we are giving for you for the Run Lottery. So stick and get some opportunities for yourself today. If you're looking to expand your business horizons while enjoying a world-class travel experience, here's something to note. The Vanuatu Business and Pleasure Tour 2026 is bringing together business leaders, investors, and professionals for a unique blend of strategic engagement and leisure. Participants will take part in business forums, networking sessions, and investment discussions, while also experiencing Vanuatu's rich culture, scenic islands, and tourism attractions. It's business with purpose and pleasure. Registration is currently ongoing and is open for the Vanuatu Business and Pleasure Tour 2026. Think business, think leisure, think Vanuatu. To register, you can call Vanuatu Trade Commission Ghana on 0240-229-282 or 0544-262-905. So note, registration is first come, first served base. So don't miss this opportunity. You can get your registration for yourself this morning. And how did you start your day? It's always very necessary to start your morning on a very good note. Well, if you haven't had your cup of Mixi Choco, then you're truly missing out something special this morning. The rich new tasty Mixi Choco is crafted to brighten your mornings and keep you refreshed all day long. Everything is right in there for you. There, you can just add hot water, stir, and enjoy a warm, comforting cup of Mixi. Now, for the coffee lovers, Mixi has something special for you too. Mixi Coffee delivers a creamy, smooth coffee experience that keeps you energized for your everyday hustle. Honestly, just one sip and you're going to feel it very well. And guess what? There is more. Introducing the new delicious Mixi Strawberry, a sweet, exciting addition, and one more reason you should love Mixi. Start your day right away with Mixi. Mixi Channel Hot. So if you're home watching us on a breakfast show, please get a cup of coffee, the Mixi coffee, the choco, or the strawberry for yourself this morning. Enjoy with the friends and family, your co-workers as well in the office, and enjoy a warm, comforting Mixi product this morning. Now, let's get to the papers for this morning. So the Daily Graphic newspaper is saying, government clears 1.47 billion US dollars energy sector debt negotiations IPP's contracts. So that's Ato Force, the finance minister over there. And President direct NLA KGL contract review. KGL Technology welcomes move, commits to more value. That's on page 6 of the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. And President hails Graphic as credible standard. So he visited the corporation last week. So this and some other stories you can find in the Daily Graphic. The Chronicle newspaper says 118 former parliamentary candidates pledged to vote for Bawumia. So, 31st of January is their primary. So, election is ongoing. And give me the power and I'll give you jobs. That's Kennedy Japan. And Brian wins grassroots support in the northern region. So it's on page 3 of the Chronicle newspaper. So these 3 candidates are actually going on the primaries. And the Daily Analyst who says 7 highway robbers busted as police vow to deal decisively with criminal networks. Yes, and government pledges support for Gomwa Central Special Economic Zone. Yes, so you can find this story too on the graphic. And the National Voice newspaper, KGL welcomes review committed to delivering more value to NLA and GRA. Yes, so that's a big one over there. N100, so that's it. And the Observer Times, Edukrom Ojura Ochre MP launches Get Ochre Walking Tourism Initiative. So that's the MP for the place speaking over there. And KGL welcomes review committed to delivering more value to NLA and GRA. So it's on page 4 of the Observer Times newspaper this morning. The Meridian newspaper, KGL welcomes review pledges greater value for NLA and GRA. This is actually running, it's a running story for today, so it's running throughout the story, the various newspaper. And Coca distinct from Coca Ordin clears the confusion. So that's it over there. NPP presidential race, 118 parliamentary candidates declare support for Bawumia. Yeah, so it's also running story. So this is some other newspapers you can find on the various websites. Don't miss at all. You can get one of the various newspapers for yourself and get some top stories running for today. Felix van der Palen is already seated with our guest to delve deeply into the various stories making headlines this morning. Stick with us on the headlines. Don't go anywhere. I am Valencia Tete.
On the beat. See us now, we there on top, we know the flop, higher we go, we just there make them wonder.
$470 billion to clear energy sector debt and restore World Bank guarantee within first year. That's what we're going to look at first. We'll also take a look at Ken Ofori-Atta's U.S. visa issues, ICE custody, Ghana consular visits, his response, reactions with concerns, by the foreign minister, I beg your pardon, the ambassador, that's Mr. Victor Smith, and also the lawyers on the scene. We'll look at all of that. And there's also pensioners who aren't too happy with the 10% SSNIT hike. They're calling for more. We'll take a look at these issues this morning here on Headlines on The Breakfast Show. I've just been joined by Oscar Provençal. He's on my immediate left. Oscar, good to see you.
Good to see you, Felix.
Yes. And Zakaria
Good to
Tanko
see you.
Musa is also on the other side. Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Yeah, blessed. Yes.
Had a nice weekend?
Yes, it was good. We were watching some soccer and we also had some relaxation as well.
It's necessary.
Yes. So, Mahama's administration has paid 1.7, is it 1.4, a little over that, billion US dollars, you know, in helping with the energy sector debt. The first question that will come to mind, how we've managed this in the past, historically. Our thoughts on that. I'll start with Oscar.
Well, I'll be frank with you, I'm not an energy expert, but we haven't handled
your thoughts.
We haven't handled it very well.
Yeah.
We've been with a persistent threat of an energy crisis, but I think that the previous government put a priority on energy, but the question was at what cost? And maybe we're now seeing the cost, you know, to thrive without regular cheap power. It's impossible. It's going to affect production, outputs. It's going to affect security. You want people to move around. You need lights on in the night, you know, and that's eventually ends up to be a national security threat and an impact on overall impact on our economy and our GDP. So I think that as a priority in the first year, the Mahama administration took a good look at it and decided that it would not favor them not to solve this problem. And so they have. And so
in your estimation,
congratulations to President Mahama and obviously to Honorable John Jinapor, who is the Minister of Energy. He's more than qualified. He knows the business. And we just hope that it will be maintained and built upon. Ghanaians, you know, they're crying today for, you ask any Ghanaian how much they pay for electricity. I know some people who are paying about 150 cedis a day for electricity. And you ask them, what?
Okay, you mentioned cost. You mentioned cost,
Yeah.
which is now staring us in the face. So does that give an indication that...
And that's domestic I'm talking about.
Yes, so it wasn't too impressive how we...
No, obviously not. It's been a challenge. I mean, I don't think it's about one administration. I mean, we've seen it from President Rawlings down to Kufuor's time. We've always had these challenges. And that's why we keep on talking about looking towards alternative energy resources and so forth. We're doing the energy mix now. So going forward, maybe there'll be an emphasis on alternative energy like solar power, wind power, you know, and I sit here sometimes, I remember this Dr. Frimpong Boateng. He used to use jatropha as a fruit to make diesel oil to fuel his car and his you know, his generators. We have that in Ghana today.
Jatropha from Australia or something?
I don't know where it's from, but I mean, its origins, but it's been in the system. We haven't developed it to a commercial quantity. You have energy that you can derive from sugarcane and from, you know, sugar. In Brazil, they're using ethanol, you know, to power their cars. And we have abundance of land, and so why can't we go into these areas to, you know, augment our energy needs?
Great innovation.
So I think that going forward, a lot of emphasis has to go on sustainable energy.
Innovation.
It's a global, yes, and it's a global challenge. I understand that we may be looking towards nuclear energy. I think last year or so, I heard something that the government had, you know, and I think the previous government also had looked into establishing a nuclear plant for energy purposes, not for war purposes, but for energy purposes. So let's hope that we can move towards that, because cheap energy makes everybody happy.
Okay.
It's a real burden on Ghanaians.
We hope we move toward cost effectiveness. So the figures involved here and the way forward, is it promising to you?
Well, it is promising, but we have to be cautiously optimistic because, as Oscar said, this is a long-standing, issue. The long-standing energy debt had been there for a while, and we continue to talk about getting out of that quagmire, but we never get to do that. And remember, when this government took over, we were almost on the brink because there were some arrears that were owed to some energy suppliers and all these things. And we were all worried that were we going to go back to the days of doing so. And so any attempt to try and clear the debt to bring us back onto especially the World Bank guarantee. The World Bank guarantee, which was established somewhere in 2015, was more or less like a safeguard and all those things. But what we did was that we ended up depleting all that. And when you do that, it means that your credibility,
$500 million.
Your credibility is very low. I think it's a step in the right direction. If we have been able to do that within this period of time, then it means that we could do things if we really put our heads together.
So the question in there is that, have we learnt our lessons well? That's something somebody wants to.
That's why I'm saying that I'm cautiously optimistic that we have actually learned our lessons and that we're going to sustain this and not going to go back to the old ways again. Because certainly if it's been done within 1 year, it means that either we have the capacity to do this, but either because we are not prioritizing certain things or some sort of leadership it's not being demonstrated in those who are dealing with it. And so if we have actually been able to do this, then it means that we have prioritized it. We have the leadership that is trying to resolve this. Let's sustain it, because as Oscar said, if you're able to resolve the energy problem, a number of issues would come on board. It gives people the opportunity, it frees people from some of their resources to invest in other areas. So, and energy is everything in the 21st century. Yeah. So I think that is a step in the right direction. We need to say kudos to the energy minister and to the government. And I think that this is a collective, gain. And ultimately, we all stand to gain. So let's make sure that we continue what got us where we are now. We continue and even do it even more better.
Okay. Now, the posture of the IMF, as regard the risk, the risk guarantee, was established in 2015. What would their posture be? Because you talked about credibility, trustworthiness. They try to do business with us onwards. Their posture, what do you envisage?
Calcitrant, or you're not really honoring your promise, you're not actually adhering to the agreement that, led to the giving of that credit. Mm-hmm. Clearly, it mars the relationship. It mars the relationship. So if somebody steps in, because obviously government is a continuum, but when a new government comes in and then the new government engages and they, hit the ground running and they demonstrate that they can clear that and want to open a new chapter, clearly you have to reciprocate and engage in good faith and see that as a step in the right direction. So I think this should give them hope and confidence that maybe we are going to, move away from the old ways. But certainly that doesn't mean we should take our eyes off what got us there in the first place, because almost all the, if you like, the indicators and the parameters and the things that got us where we are would still be staring us in the face. But we need to be a bit more radical. I'm sure that what got us to clear this debt, it didn't come just by chance. It came as a result of a conscious effort to deal with that situation. And I think we should stay there and think that nothing concrete has been done. Certainly some effort has been put into that. That effort has got us where we are. We need to sustain that and make sure we are not going back to, because otherwise it's a tragedy, isn't it? Okay. Where we resolve a problem, after a few years or months, everybody's eye is off, and then we go
go back to it.
concentrating on other things, and we go back. Nobody's going to take us serious.
I mean, it was designed primarily to guarantee payments to the project partners.
Yeah.
You know, and if you cannot guarantee payment to the project partners, obviously you're going to have a problem. So if that 500 million is gone, you do have a problem. You know, so you can't keep on going back into more debt and more debt. And so this is not a joke. We say it easily like that, but it's a lot of money. And there's a lot of money that could have gone into other areas if we had managed our energy sector properly. So I think that, like you said, we need to ensure that this is maintained, it's sustained, and improved. And that's what we'll be looking forward to as Ghanaians.
And you see, sometimes we resolve these issues, and we all look at the fact that it's been resolved. We pop whatever we want to pop in celebration of that. But there is one thing that we need to also continuously start engaging with, and I think as the media, we may have to put our spotlight on that. Those who led us to where we were, you know, issues about the, you know, causing financial loss to the state. Certainly, somebody's action or inaction, somebody's negligence or recklessness may have led to where we got to. And I don't think that we can just move on without trying to identify those who got us where we are. And if they willfully got us where we are, certainly there are rules and regulations, there are laws that deal with these things, and we need to start enforcing some of these things to serve as a deterrent, because otherwise people who are given the responsibility to do what they ought to do, and they fail or refuse to do that, they get away with it, and it doesn't serve as a deterrent to anybody.
It's I don't know if Oral has, or the what do you call it, the prosecutors and all those processes involved in investigation have their eye on in this area as well.
Well, I'm not too sure whether they do, but I would even want Oral to be involved in that, because it would take some sort of political dimension. These are very practical things that you would find in all government agencies. And sometimes the truth of the matter is those who get themselves involved in that are not politicians. They are the very technocrats. But because our political actors and politically exposed people always want to be there, you know, engaging in this argument culture where all the time they want to be arguing because it's about politics and all this. These technocrats are getting away with murder, quote and unquote. And I think that we need to start moving away from that and start putting our lenses on those sort of things. Thankfully, we have certain laws now. The RTI is one of the tools that we can use to try and, determine what happened and all those things, do the analysis. And if after the analysis we think that somebody has a case to answer, certainly the person should be made to answer, devoid of politics.
You want to say something quickly there?
Well, look, I mean, the inefficiency in the sector is very well known. And I'm happy that the Mahama administration has been able to renegotiate with the IPPs for much better value for Ghanaians. You know, I think that's also very important. It lifts some of the burden off of the administration. They've also been able to pay about approximately $393 million in legacy IPP debts. And that obviously improves the gains that are there. So obviously a lot of work has gone into this, and I hope that, I know Mr. John Jinapor, Honorable John Jinapor, is on top of his game. He's a very astute person, and so I think that going forward, we can look forward to, and especially the reforms that are going to have to take place in the energy sector. You know, whether the issues of privatization, PPPs come in again. It's another issue altogether. But from ECG itself, I think the workers believe that they've had huge strides since the administration came in, and into there. Well, it's up to government at the end of the day to see what the right mix will be to ensure people.
Ultimately, it's what is in the public interest that matters, not individual interest. So obviously, after doing all the evaluation, if it is demonstrated that it's in the public interest and there's demonstrable evidence, then it matters not what any individual or any group of people think. It's the public interest that would override everything.
It's about the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's in the state. Okay, I would want us to move on to Ken Ofori-Attah's issue. He's in the hands of ICE right now. But first, and to be sure, is it still right to call the former minister a fugitive, as people are?
Well, the government of
Let me go
Ghana
first.
has actually declared him as that. I mean, the OSP has declared him as that. So in terms of the nomenclature, yes, and there is, they have made a request and all those things. So yeah, technically, yes. But as we are made to know, in terms of why he was detained, it has nothing to do with the request from the OSP per se. We are told that he's been detained on immigration issue.
No, but there's a subtle controversy there. The AG is saying that he's been detained as a result of revocation of his visa. And after that, they gave him some couple of months to leave the U.S. But his lawyers are saying that no, it has to do with immigration laws. So there's this controversy.
Yeah, but if
Who do we listen to?
if they revoke your visa, it's still immigration.
No,
if they still revoke your visa,
but
it's still immigration.
Again, the AG stretched it and related it to the request for extradition.
No,
And
it's-
not just a mere, visa.
it would still be immigration. What probably may have happened is that, you have to look at your strategy and you have to look at what tactics you're going to use to achieve your strategy. So if you think that maybe extradition would be cumbersome, would be complicated, and there are other ways that you could use to achieve that quicker, you would do that. And so maybe it is possible that they realize that, well, because remember, when you are given a visa to go into any country and you are given the visa by the embassy in your country, it's still, all it allows you is it allows you to make yourself available to the immigration officer at the point of entry. When you get there, they would make a determination whether they are allowing you to enter or not. And at that stage, you may have a 5-year multiple visa, you may have a 1-year multiple visa. But when you get there, they would then determine how long they're going to give you to stay in that country. So that's one of the problems that people don't really appreciate that much. So you may have a 1-year visa, you get in there, you were told that actually you can spend no more than 6 months. But when you get to the border, the entry point, the immigration officer there would put a stamp in your passport that indicates the duration you can stay. So if you go beyond that duration, although you have a 5-year visa or a 1-year visa, you are in breach of your visa requirements. And at that stage, your visa can be revoked. And when they revoke, that 5-year that you have is no longer valid. And sometimes, depending on the circumstances, they may ask you to voluntarily leave the
But
jurisdiction.
specifically on Ken Ofori-Attah's issue, his visa, in principle, was supposed to expire next month.
But that's why I'm saying that the visa, the duration of the visa could be 1 year, it could be 5 years. But at the point of entry, you may be given a restricted period to stay in that jurisdiction. If you exceed that restricted period and you come to their attention, they would automatically revoke that long period that they have given to you, and they can ask you to leave the jurisdiction. Now, the thing about the Ofori-Attah matter is that we are not really clothed with a lot of the issues. When the matter goes before court, all these issues will come out why he was detained, because this is going to be public information. Why he was detained would clearly come out in the courts to see whether was the visa revoked because he had breached the conditions of the visa, or it was as a result of, because see, you can even be given a visa because you say you're going to a country for A, B, C, D. If it turns out that somebody reports you that actually you obtained the visa by deception or dishonesty, that itself is a basis on which that visa can be revoked. Do you get the point? I mean, not in the US, but in the UK, I have been involved in a few of those instances where somebody would call and say, this person is in this country. They said they are coming to this country for ABCD, but they're here for another purpose. And once that is brought to their attention, that's a basis on which they can revoke your visa, which says that he has been detained. The Attorney General is telling us that the visa was revoked somewhere in July, but I'm saying that in terms of the principle of revoking visa, that's not something that is unheard of. The visa can be revoked although you have a longer duration of your visa, but the circumstances that led to the revocation of the visa is what we wait to hear when the case goes before the judge, I think on the 20th.
Okay, so we're looking at how ICE zeroed in for Ken Ofori-Atta in Washington. That also leaves a lot to be desired, because ICE, these guys do a lot of general sweeping arrests when it comes to immigration laws. But they went in specifically, if you listen to the story, that also.
But that's why I'm saying to you that it is targeted. That's what I'm saying to you that sometimes, and remember, Ofori-Atta is not somebody who can go under the radar. His issue already has generated a lot of local and international attention, and he's not an ordinary person. He's the finance minister. So certainly, and because of these issues and all, that's what I'm saying, it's about strategy and tactics. Do you understand? So depending on what strategy you want to use and the tactics, you could look at the other options. Do you get the point? The other options, and see what happens. Some have even argued that it is possible he himself could actually get himself, picked up because there could be other tactics that we could use. Because when he goes before the court, remember, it's going before a court, and the court would make a determination, right? Whether based on the revocation of your visa, which means you no longer have the right to stay in that country. But you could your lawyers could put in an argument why you should be allowed to stay in that country. Now, when that argument is going on, it could take long. Some take 3 months, some could take even a year, 2 years. They could make an application to say that whilst the case is going on, you should be allowed to stay in the country, and therefore you should actually be taken out of detention. You would probably have to be asked to put in a bond and all those things. And there are other options and all those things that can be looked at. But certainly, for them to go specifically to his residence and pick him up, that then makes me have some sort of inclination towards what the Attorney General was seeking to put out. But because of the collaborative nature.
You've gone around and come back.
Because of the collaborative nature. No, but I'm not denying the fact that, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying to you, that it's about strategy and tactics. But that you may not have the permission of the other to disclose what went into that and all those things. The only stage that we can know is when the case goes to court and then it becomes public knowledge. Then at that time, the Attorney General may have to come and throw some more light on that.
Okay, Oscar, let me bring Oscar in. Oscar, your thoughts on this?
Well, once again, I think you probably hit the nail on the head when you said we don't really have all the information.
So we need to wait till the end when the courts come up with...
When you look at it, we're looking at two things: revocation of the visa and extradition treaty. And revocation of your visa does not mean deportation. Until you get a notice for deportation, it doesn't mean deportation. For whatever reasons that you're given a revocation of your visa. And I'll just read to you. It does not impact the immigration status, yes? And it does not automatically trigger removal proceedings, only impacting the individual's ability to re-enter the United States. U.S. visa revocation grounds include fraud, misrepresentation, criminal activity, violating visa terms, unauthorized work overstaying, national security concerns, or no longer qualifying for jobs or for work visa, with reasons often stemming from new information. So there's the whole grounds for revocation here, and we have absolutely no idea as to which of the grounds he has, flouted, or the basis for which ICE has gone after him.
But Tanko is saying strategy and tactics.
Of course.
And
of course.
And AG specifically said it has not got to do with.
AG can jump. AG says he's acting in conjunction with them. Fine, we'll take his word for it. There's no problem with that. Because at the end of the day is you have a lot of tools to play at this time, to get him back. Extradition means that you're basically, it's about international treaties that you've signed. It's not the civil issue of revocation. So that's where the diplomacy and the international treaties and all of these things. And I don't know what treaties we've signed with the U.S. regarding, extradition and so forth. You've seen Ghana, we've been receiving prisoners or whatever it is from America and other, from basically America, who have been brought to Ghana. So I am not privy to, that's a completely intricate thing that the information is not available. But I think that we should all just be patient. I think that Ken owes it a duty to the country to come back. And if his intention is not to come back, well, that is his life. He will have to deal with the consequences, thereof.
I had a journalist. Say,
okay,
Godwin, of the fact that somebody close said he was not willing to come.
So my challenge is this. At the end of the day, how do the U.S. government perceive whether he will get a fair trial when he comes to Ghana? Because at the heart of it, at the threshold, as far as I'm concerned, is that what the United States, whether it's going to be extradition or whether it's going to be revocation, and when your visa is gone, out you go. But out you go doesn't mean they are sending you back to Ghana. Out you go means he can go anywhere else in the world that he has a visa. You get my point? So I'm asking, what are the elements of having a fair trial in Ghana? Has Ghana positioned itself to the point where we believe, or the U.S. believes, or the general public believes, that when he comes, he will get a fair trial? So when you look at the actions that have taken place since then, it is up to the United States at the end of the day, not Ghana, at the United States, to say that when they look at what has happened in his case, all the way from being called a fugitive, well, a fugitive, as far as I'm concerned, is somebody who has committed a crime, has escaped and run away. The man wasn't even charged, but he was called a fugitive and put on red notice. And the clamor in our media space, either coming from the Attorney General's office, from NDC itself, or there are certain members, and even from the general public, the actions that have taken place with Tokunu, Madam Tokunu, with regarding the, the thought that, this is just a way of making sure that the judiciary is more in favor with the NDC. And I'm saying this from a layman's point of view.
Okay,
Based upon these issues, will they say that when he comes to Ghana, he'll get a fair trial? And if they say they think that he won't get a fair trial, they will not hand him over.
All right, Prince,
so he has to prove that case.
Just join us.
Quick one. To me, we need to ask some basic questions. You've been given a job in your country. You have done your job. There are questions to be answered. You understand? There are politics around it. We know everywhere in the world there'll be politics. People want to score some political point by putting you out there and come and do press conferences. Fine. There are cases that they have done all these press conferences. When we went for trial, the facts couldn't support what they were saying, and they have to hold on and sometimes even drop the charges. So to me, if somebody says and make the allegation that because there have been media prosecution already, when I come out and get a fair trial, it's neither here nor there for me. I mean, when you come, that's why we have the rule of law. Nobody has ever gone above the rule of law to do certain things. You can do it when it comes to
Sorry,
politics.
I'm cutting in too quickly, but as Tanko used a phrase, tactics and strategy. We could use the same thing in getting him home? Because let's look at the motivations. What's driving him not to come home? Perhaps he's dreading some humiliation and all kinds
And
of
the
things
point
going
is,
on.
when you are there,
His lawyer says it's a political,
no. When you are there,
motivated thing.
they can make all those allegations. You understand, but when you are there, it won't stop it. And the point is that if you know your stewardship, truth will always triumph over every fanfare. Some of the things they are fanfare, but when you come and your lawyers, if you can hire international lawyers, you can hire competent local lawyers. And this is a man who is born into a family of even legal people. So who can and he's not just an ordinary guy who can come here and people will run over him. So the point of him not coming will go and reinforce his guilt. That to me is where you shouldn't even push himself into. Because if there are questions, seriously, there have been infractions, you come and you go through the process. Unless you want to accept that what happened, he can see real issues that can get him to jail, that he's trying to avoid. But either two, all the political actors who are in Ghana and they are playing all these OSP issues with them, some of them, it gets to a point and OSP can't even prove any of the allegations they have leveled against them. And the people are walking around driving their cars and living their lives.
So he has no reason to
So
stay.
he has no reason to pull that international card and try to let Ghana look like we don't get fair trial when people are put in the courts.
Legally, I'm coming, hold on. Legally, there are concerns on how his lawyers are advising him. I want Tanko to address that. Tanko, I don't know what it's been for you. People think that they haven't managed him too well, perhaps complicating issues.
People are saying that out of ignorance because you don't know what conversation he has with his client, and there is a confidentiality, privilege. Whatever conversation or discussion he has with his lawyers is a privileged conversation, and so they cannot tell you. The lawyers would advise him based on what he tells them.
Now, when you say out of ignorance, it's a bit questionable because
you don't know.
The main aim is to get him home.
Yeah.
And so if he's not coming, then what kind of advice?
But the
you?
lawyers, if I am your client and you tell me that, I don't want to come back to Ghana, so I want you to help me in terms of what are the legal options that I have to avoid me coming to Ghana. That's what the lawyers are going to do. So if you say just because he hasn't come to Ghana or because he's been picked up there, that is as a result of the failure or refusal of his lawyers to give him good advice, that is not wholly accurate. Do you get the point? And then that is why others are also even concerned that, okay, when he was detained, the Ghana embassy has tried to give him consular service, and he has refused that consular service and said he would only talk to them when his lawyers are available. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, whether we like it or not, as Prince said, we know that this has got some sort of, political, implications. And he himself is a political person. And so, and who, although the people at the embassy are supposed to be representing everybody else, but they are also representatives of this government and all those things. So he would have that skepticism, and he would not want to go in there and have an engagement with them without his lawyers. In any case, you are not under any obligation to accept consular assistance. It's given to everybody. Every Ghanaian who finds yourself in a foreign country, when you are in trouble, that is what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to come and offer you that assistance, but it is not mandatory.
So if it's not a big deal, why is Ambassador Victor Smith and his team probably announcing it and making it quite a fuss?
They need to make it clear that we have made our services available to him, and he has declined. Because otherwise, that is also, if you like, what is the right word? Not necessarily grounds, but that is actually, they are not doing negligence of their duty, and they are not providing that duty of care. They are not providing that duty of care to their citizen, and it's not just any ordinary citizen. Whether we like it or not, he has served as the Minister of Finance. That's why what Prince is saying, I think that we need to get to that point as well, where it is very, very important that when you are provided, when you are given a mandate and you exercise that mandate, and you are asked to come and account for that mandate, if you have nothing to hide, you should willingly come. But of course, his issue has different dimensions and all those things. That led to the issue of the fugitive. And I need to make this thing clear as well. Fugitive doesn't necessarily mean that it is somebody who had committed an offense. You know, if you are hiding from law enforcement agencies, you are running away from them when they are looking for you for whatever reasons, they can still declare you as a fugitive, you know. So there are technical, legal issues surrounding that. But the point I think achieve with the extradition using the immigration route, which might take, but once your visa has been revoked, what usually happens is that if they had given you the opportunity to leave the jurisdiction and you leave voluntarily, that's where maybe it would affect your re-entry. They would ban you for a number of years for actually coming back to their country. But once you have not left voluntarily and they pick you up, now you lose that, you know, that discretion that they can give to you. Now everything will shift down to the judge. It's the judge that would make the determination. His lawyers will come and argue. ICE would also come and make their argument. And then the judge will look at the circumstances and make a determination whether in the instant case and based on all the facts and all this,
okay,
whether it's appropriate.
I want us to look at the relevance of his presence, because we'll have talked about trying in absentia. Prince, you came a bit late, so I'll let you have this
You see, to me, he being here could have stamped his own authority over everything that be said on his behalf. Because if you are tried in absentia, there are some issues that when you are there in person, you will be able to even come out extempo when even processes are going on. So it can be done both ways. But I think that if we encourage this thing that people can just be in positions, take their leave and try them behind them, and even when you sentence them, they are still living abroad. To what end? Somebody has been tried, sentenced, and the person is living abroad.
And also, until tried and proven guilty, you know, there's nothing legally binding for you to come home for trial. But
the point
there's
is,
also that.
But that's why they are using the legal means to bring him back.
To bring him back.
See, there is a bit of a legal, if you like, technicality or lacuna in the cases that we have dealt with. In the cases that we have dealt with, the person has been charged. You know, because when you arrest somebody, you arrest them, you put whatever case you have against them before them, and then you take their statements and all those things. After you've done that, if the person leaves, you can go to court, and in their absence, you can continue doing whatever you want to do. Now, the difference with Ofori-Atta is that they've not even been able to put whatever issue they have in front of before him. So that's that's also another, if you like, legal technicality that if you are not careful, that is the basis on which somebody can even stand up and go and challenge that, because law is all about interpretation and technicality. There is a difference between somebody is here, in the case of Sedenam that people are talking about. She was here, everything started, and then she left. But in his case, you haven't even started anything at all. You were inviting him for questioning, and on the basis of the questioning, then you would determine whether or not there is a case to answer, and then you move ahead. And then he left the jurisdiction. So technically, if you want to make sure you are ticking all the boxes and avoiding getting caught up in any legal challenge and all those things, I don't think it would be wise to try him in absentia in these sort of instances. That's why I can understand, I am attracted to the efforts by the Attorney General to make sure he comes here, at least put whatever charge you have against him. And if he's not there, then at least you can go ahead because of the principles of a fair trial and all those things. But I also have to make this point. If you look at in the UK and other jurisdictions, anytime Ghanaians apply for asylum, they ask them where we have, you know, embedded in our constitutional requirements, the right to fair trial and all those things. So I don't see, although, you know, there would be a lot of political talks. The media will be making commentary on all those things. But in terms of the framework that we have, the authorities are not going to be swayed by the political commentary or the media commentary and all those things. They would look at the legal framework. They would look at our legal framework and look at those people who are already standing trial here. What are they being given a fair trial and all
America
those
has
things. And that would
representation
determine
here. And
whether or
they-
not you would be considered not to be given a fair trial when you come. And I'm saying that the unfortunate thing for Ken Ofori-Atta is that there are people who have stayed in this country. We have had instances where even a previous finance minister, was it a deputy finance minister, who was out of the jurisdiction, and then he came to the jurisdiction and he went through the process, and ultimately the law took its course. And there are his colleague ministers who are also here and going through the judicial process. So that would make that argument unattractive. But at the end of the day, it would go before a judge, and remember, as I said earlier on, the judge would weigh whatever arguments you put in, and they would not just take what our Attorney General representative would say, and they would not just take what Ken Ofori-Atta. They would also look at the
into the books
circumstances,
and
and then they would
yeah.
make a determination.
So again, on what AG wants to do, as you're attesting to it, using legal means to bring him and all of that, some people want to use it against Ken Ofori-Atta, that he doesn't want to come or cooperate. And the point that was raised that there's nothing legally binding, so you cannot hold him to that effect. That's the point I wanted to
Yeah,
bring up.
legally, yeah. I mean.
So he can choose not to.
But remember who is he? He is not just any ordinary person. He is a public figure who we have given a
entrusted
mandate
public
of
resources.
entrusted public resources into him. And there is I heard a minister of state saying that there is no law that says that people should be held accountable after they leave office. Accountability is spread all over the place in the constitutions. If we have given you a mandate and you have been entrusted with public resources, you have to run away with those sort of perception that he doesn't want to come, and he himself is not helping matters. And some of these developments may go a long way to reinforce the fact that he doesn't want to come and face justice.
Okay, Oscar. Some say Ken is already facing justice, though in a reduced form. That was interesting to hear.
Well, I don't know which planet I am on, but I believe that there's something called the presumption of innocence. And there seems to be no presumption of innocence on this table, or majority of the narrative that has come out of Ghana. My brother just mentioned that when he comes, he may go to jail. Why did you say he may be innocent? Why straight to jail? And this is my issue. This is my issue, is that we probably kicked ourselves in the butt by the conduct of the OSP. There was a time when the man said he would cooperate through his lawyers. So you cannot sit and say he has never said he will not cooperate. So, I think that we have kicked ourselves in the butt. And we have conducted everything about him that he's guilty before proven innocent. And this is what is happening here.
How is that?
Who-
He has
Who's
the
done
trial
that?
by the media,
But
the trial by
But
whether it's a perception, whether it's a
once we are
perception,
doing politics,
respectfully.
Some of these things we
Respect-
can't rule
So
them
let
out.
him land and
If
then
you know
I'll
nothing,
give you there.
Respectfully.
Oh, let Oscar finish. And I'll
I think that if you go and do your research, you will find out the grounds for which the U.S. may refuse to extradite somebody. And you will find it in their line items. The presumption of innocence, fair trial. You want me to Google it for you? And I'm
the
saying,
point
and
is
I'm
that
saying, and
the
I'm
young people
respectfully,
who they are coming in with allegations
Respectfully,
that
it
they are
has
commit
been-
wire fraud,
respectfully.
and they are sending them to America. How do we also determine that they'll get fair trial?
respectfully, and in
So
this-
the point is that
in
in
this re-
everywhere where we are playing
respect-
politics,
respectfully.
even Trump's ideas are all not clapped for in America.
Yes, and that's why he
people
goes- why they
ahead
go to
criticize
court.
even before they go and
they are
redress.
overturned.
So everywhere
Yes.
it's done.
So
why we are doing
respectfully,
party politics?
this is not
you
about-
can't say
this
a
is
thing
not-
like this will happen.
So,
No
one
Ghanaian
at
will
a
comment
time.
on it. No
One
media
at a
will
time.
talk about it.
I've
We
said
will clap for
respectfully
him,
about 10
and
times.
before we come and put him before a judge or something. It cannot be done.
Respectfully.
We are sitting here, they
Oscar,
are using their laws
Oscar.
to extradite
Prince,
young people.
I'll give him
Prince,
that.
I mean, I'll
How
come
do
back to you.
You'll get a
I'll
fair
give him
trial.
I'll come back to
fair
Prince.
trial.
I'll give him
No,
the
I'm
floor.
done. So I'm done
No,
with
no,
Prince.
no.
So you
How
can.
are we sure
Respectfully,
that a young man
this
Prince,
who is arrested
I
at
want to-
Swedro,
Prince,
being taken to
hello?
Washington, will get a fair
Prince,
trial?
Oscar has the floor. You had yours, and he didn't
Okay,
interrupt.
so that's
you
what
to finish.
happens when you have entrenched. But you can't convince me about anything. I'm
So
sitting
wrap
here,
up
and
with
I'm
your-
not specifically, if you want, when we talk about fair trial in Ghana, it is not specific to Ken Ofori-Atta. It may be you next time. It may be me. So this is not just about Ken. So we have conducted a certain trial by the media, and I'm saying to you, whether it's perceived or it's reality, and somebody somewhere sitting outside of the fish box will see it in a different manner. And so when you go to their thresholds that they have stated, it is based upon their thresholds that they will decide whether the man has been treated fairly.
But Oscar,
And I'm saying that,
going,
and I'm
Oscar,
saying
Oscar,
to you,
the question is, who is going by a media trial? Who's going by that? Nobody's going by
it's
a
not a
media
question of whether you're going by a media trial. That's why I said, what is the threshold? So maybe you should get the U.S. ambassador to come here and answer that question.
But the U.S. ambassador is not a judge.
He's not a judge.
He's a judge.
But
He's a judge.
but it's
He's a
available.
judge that-
Do you want-
Oscar,
do you-
so no, I get
And
the point.
the judge
you want
will
me-
look at the
this is the thing.
evidence
in the,
I'm
in,
coming.
in the, in
and
the
not
age,
what the media is
in
saying.
the age,
Oscar.
I'm not a lawyer.
Oscar, but you see, it
Huh?
is
I'm not a
dangerous.
lawyer.
It
So
is
I'm talking
it is-
from-
No.
Yeah, but you see,
Yeah, I'm talking
the
from
internet,
purely-
the internet would give you a general principle, right? But those general principles, you need to also understand the legal principles that goes with it. Now, the concept of free trial, right, and trial by the media, what happens
We're
is that
wrapping up when you're done.
the judiciary is deemed to be taking judicial notice of what is going on around. And that is more prevalent in situations where there is a trial by jury. So when there is a trial by jury, remember, these are not lawyers. These are not judges. They are not people of the law. They are ordinary people who would sit in judgment over you. So when the media landscape is inundated with some of these discussions, it's deemed to probably affect the way they will look at it. But in this context, we are looking at a lot. This is why some of these things doesn't affect this, because the judge is not going to look at what is going on in the media landscape. In the 24/7 media landscape,
Prince, I'll
they
give
know
Prince
that these
just
things
30
will happen.
seconds. And
So
then,
you watch. If the media goes to a house and see somebody dead and somebody standing there with a knife, what is the presumption? He killed a person. The media will easily report that.
It's not-
But when it gets
it's
to
not
the
small
court,
thing.
when it
It's
gets
a
to the
we'll
trivial-
court,
have to investigate and interpret it
when we
properly.
get to the court, they will use fingerprints, they will use DNA samples. We go beyond what people say to prove other guilt or innocence.
Thank you very much.
So it's not what the media is
Unfortunately,
just
our
saying
time
that should be what the judges
Thank
will
you
say.
very much,
Yeah,
Oscar
but
Provençal. Thank you for
fortunately,
coming on.
it's
Thank
not-
you.
It's not up to us to decide. And I
Zachariah.
am one person who would want him to come.
Tanko Musa, thank you,
But I'm
Prince
saying we
Intiamwa.
kicked ourselves in
You
the
were
foot
here a bit late.
and
You didn't have
created
in
an
traffic.
environment.
I'll tell George in traffic, I've got caught.
So thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for watching. It's been headlines here on the GTV Breakfast Show. We have more action ahead. You heard about cervical cancer. There's something on import-export Ghana, navigating opportunities. That's also ahead. So stay on, don't miss out.
The message for travelers is simple. Come and experience our food, our clothing, our music, the people, the warmth of the people, the life in Ghana. Come and experience all of it. Go home with